Okay, so while plurality only focused on first place, your board account method is now going to take into consideration second, third, and fourth place. So what happens here is each place or rank, because that's what they call it, a place or a rank. So you're in first place, second place, third place, fourth place. On the ballot is assigned points in reverse order. Okay, so think about it. If you're running a race in track, if you win, you get the gold or the blue ribbon. Okay, if you come in second, you end up with a silver medal. Third place, you end up with bronze, so on and so forth. So basically, if you come in last, you're going to come up with the smallest thing possible. Next to last, you get a little bit more. Up from there, you get a little bit more. If you're in first place, you get the most. Okay, that's what this method is going to do for you. So the people that come in last place in this method is going to earn 1 point. The next person that comes in second to last will then end up with 2 points. Third to last gets 3 points. So on and so forth. So, in other words, if you have 4 candidates, your first place person will end up with 4 points. Your last place person will end up with 1. So it'll go 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Once we assign the points, we then tally all the points together and we pick a board account winner. Your board account winner is the candidate with the highest point value. Okay. Your board account winner then is the candidate with the highest point value. Okay, so that's what takes you back to that Heisman Trophy thing that was on the page beforehand, is the fact that when they win, they get amount of points that go towards the Heisman Trophy. Okay, so what's good about this method versus the plurality method? Well, now it's going to take into consideration no matter where you fall in the spectrum. It's not just looking at first place votes. So this takes into account all information. Okay. I'm going to take into account all the information that you are given. I'm going to give you 2 ways to do this. I don't care which way you like and which way you choose. Whichever makes more sense to you is the way that I want you to do it. But I will give you 2 options. Okay. So let's look at some examples. Here's your first one. We can do this in a chart. So the way you do this in the chart, again, if you're in last place, you only get 1 point. Okay. If you come in third, then you get 2 points. Second gets 3 points. And in this case, we finish with 4 points because there's only 4 candidates. So now, if you know your multiplication tables, it would actually help you here. So in this first column, I have 14 voters. D comes in last place. So each of these 14 voters give D 1 point. So this is 14 times 1, which gives me 14 total points for D. Does that make sense? We've got 14 voters, and last place gives them 1 point. So now when we move up to C, each of these 14 are giving out 2 points. So 2 times 14 then gives me 28. And you keep moving up. 14. B gets 3 points for coming in second place. So this comes out to 42. 3 times 14. And finally, first place, A gets 4 points for each one of these votes. So they get 56. We move into the next column then. This column is 10 voters. So again, 1 point for each vote. So A is 10. And if you know your times tables, this will help. So 10, 20. What comes next?
30.
30. And
40.
40. My next column is going to go by 8s. So we go 8, 16, 24, 32. Good. 32. And finally, my last column is going to go by 4s. 4, 8,
12, 16. Yep.
12, 16. Easy peasy. Okay, so now that you've got all of the point values for each one, we now need to get a grand total for each candidate. So, in the first column, A has 56 points. In the second column, they have 10. In the third column, they have 8. And in the last column, they have 4. So we need to get a grand total for A. So we're going to add them all up. 78. You're going to do this with each candidate. So B has 42 points and 30, 16, and 16. Oh, should have your calculators.
My brain.
84.
Higher than that. Higher than that.
What are we counting? The blue?
Yes, all the blue. What?
104.
104. Okay, then you're going to do your C values. 28, 40, 24, and 8. $100.
What was it that?
He put out a calculator.
Oh.
And then finally add up all your D's. 14, 20, 32, and 12. $78 again.
Can't do it.
So these are how you pick a winner now. Who's my winner using board account? B. If I asked you to do extended ranking, that means you need to rank everybody else behind them. So if B comes in first, who's next? See?
A or oh, I'm just playing. Now A or D.
And now A and D both tie for third. Okay. So if they ask you to do extended, I need first, second, third, and fourth. Questions? How do we feel about board account right now? Easy. All right. There is another way to do this, and it's formula based. So depending on how your brain works, this might strike your interest. You may look at this and say, never again. I like the other way. So in this method, we still give points out. Okay, so it's still 1 point for last place, 2 points for second to last, 3 points for third to last, 4 points for the winner. So this time, we look at red. How many times did red come in first place?
Twice.
Mm-mm. Don't forget, 2 columns, but
11.
they came in first place 11 times. 5 in the first column, 6 in this column. So they got 4 points 11 times. How many times did they come in second place?
None.
None. So we skip it. How many times did they come in third place?
Oh my gosh.
12. So third place, they get 2 points 12 times. How many times
8.
did they come in last?
8.
8. So they get 1 point for 8 times. And you would plug this into your calculator to get red's total. You know they're going to rely on me.
76.
Oh,
Oh, got you.
oh, she got you.
Anybody write
76. Okay, and you do the same thing for each one. So now we're going to look at green. How many times did green come in first place? 9. Okay. So they get 4 points for each time they came in first place. How many times did they come in second?
13.
13. So they get 3 points 13 times. How many times did they come in? And how many times did they come in last? 3 times. So they get 1 point for every time they come in last.
No.
You gave up on this one?
No, I didn't give up on it. You got to head start to me. And you're on calculator.
Yeah,
Cheating.
you usually lose track without time.
That was all kind of lost.
I got started.
Yeah, I'm ready.
90.
Got you.
Got you. Wait,
Now
that's right. I have an
your
answer key.
calculator.
All right. So now we look at blue. How many times did blue come in first place?
11.
11. So 4 points for every time they come in first. How many times did they come in second?
Who are we talking? Blue?
Blue.
Oh, 6. 9 plus 6 is 15.
15. So 3 points for every time they came in second. How many times did they come in third?
Sorry.
5. So 2 points for every time they came in third. How many times did they come in last?
This whole, when you write the 1, 2, 3, 4, it confuses me.
What, up the side of it?
Right.
You don't have to if you don't want
I
to.
did, though.
Oh, you wrote pen, didn't you?
Yeah. Just so.
So blue never came in last, so we don't even have to worry about it. So what is blue's total?
Whoa. We got a new.
I got 99. Double check it.
I got 9.
I didn't even
Make sure you double check your math. That's the biggest problem with board account, is you're plugging in so many numbers. Make sure you're watching what you're plugging in, okay? And finally, the last one, pink. How many times did pink come in first? None. Move on. How many times did they come in second?
Trace.
3. So 3 points, 3 times. How many times did they come in third?
8.
8. So we get 2 points for every time they came in third. And finally, how many times did they come in last place? 20. They get 1 point for every time they came in last. Wow, they really don't like pink. I do too. I mean, green's still my favorite color, but I mean, I like pink. I'm gonna bring in crickets.
43.
20. 18. 45.
45. Woo! We got somebody new back there. 45. So who's my winner?
Blue.
Blue. Blue wins. Which way do we prefer? In the chart, or do you like the formula?
Chart.
Third block like the chart better too. I personally do the chart. I prefer the chart. So we'll stick with the chart, but you always have this option. If your brain works better this way, by all means, you will get the same answer. So try board account on your own, and we'll look at it. Okay, try this example on your own, and we'll look at it. What's your answer? Make sure you check the pages. Do you want me to recycle the email? Do you want me to that way you won't get confused? You need this one?
Yep.
Gotcha. If for some reason you lose your note packet, it is up on Canvas as well. You can always reprint it. I will not reprint it for you, but you can always reprint it yourself. So far, so good. So now you need to get a grand total for A. Take all of these, grand total for B, and take your one from there.
I think I did it right, but I think I did it wrong.
You think you did it right, but you think you did it wrong. What did you do vocabulary wise, Chloe? You can have all these notes.
Oh my goodness, I did it all wrong.
Looks good. So far, so good. You're doing fine. Keep going, keep going. biggest problem I find is you all second guess yourselves. Don't. Because usually what you're doing is correct. Just fantastic. Good. This looks good. So just while you're at it, everything else is good. Okay. Everything else is good. Other than that, you're looking good. Looking good, looking good. That looks great. Two, 6 times 3, and then we look at this one, 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, and this one, 3 times that, and then once you're finished, all your pays, add them up, you can get your total. Okay. Well, that'll at least help. You always have something for me. You need to assign points for each one of these places. So if it's dead last, you get 1 point. Next, so I have 6 people that give this person 1 point. So that's 6 times 1, which gives them 6 here. 6 times 2, that gives them 12. 6 times 3, that gives them 18. So on and so forth. And we go to this column. This time we're giving out 2. So 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3. Once you get all that, you add all of your A's together, all of your B's together, all of your C's together. All right. So, majority of you are good to go. If you need extra help, come see me after school. I am here. I live here. Okay. So, last place, we're giving out 1 point. Next to last, we give out 2, 3, and 4. So, the first column, we have 6 voters. D gets 1 point for each vote, so that's 6 total points. They get 2 points for each vote, so that's 12, 18, 24. This column is 2, so they get 2, 4, 6, and 8, and 3, 6, 9, and 12. Finally, we go through and we have to add up all of our A values. So we add up 24, 2, and 3, which should give you 29. We add up 18, 8, and 6, 32. We add up 12, 6, and 12. That gives us 30. and we add up 6, 4, and 9, which gives you 19. So that means B is your winner. The question asks, does this example violate the majority criterion? Who has majority votes? If you look at the selection, not doing the board account, who has majority? Just looking at the preference schedule itself.
What do you mean? Oh, who? They're all equal.
They're all equal.
There's
They're
well,
all equal.
oh, 6.
6. A has your majority of your votes. Okay? A has 6, B has 2, C has 3, and D has none. A has the majority of your votes. Is that who won board account? No. So, board account violates your majority criterion. Okay? Board account is going to violate the majority criterion. Okay. So now just some questions. Okay. Same schedule. I just moved it so it's right next to all this. Okay. What's the total numbers of voters that I have in the schedule?
11.
11. Remember, we get our total amount of voters by adding up. So we have 11 voters. So if I have 11 voters, how many times can a candidate come in first place?
11 times.
11 times. It only makes sense, right? You can't be any more or any less than the amount of voters you have. Okay? So think about this. If you come in first place 11 times, what's the most points you can earn in this election?
44.
44. Why?
Because 4 times 11.
Good. First place, you get 4 points. Okay? First place, you get 4 points. So, if you come in first place 11 times, you're worth 44 points. If I have 11 voters, how many times can somebody come in last place?
6. I mean 11.
11. I can come in last place every time. If I come in last place every time, how many points am I worth?
1. Wait, 11.
11. You get 1 point for every time you're in last place. Well, if you're in last place 11 times, that means you get 11 points. Finally, they want to know how many total points are in this schedule altogether. Oh, geez. They're asking for way too much.
So we have to add all of them together?
Here's my quick and easy solution to you. So, first place you get 4 points. Second place you get 3. Third you get 2. Fourth you get 1. How many total points is that?
1. Wait, what? How many total points
You
is
get-
all of that?
Yeah, you get 4 points, 3 points, 2, and 1.
4, 5, 6, 7,
What?
8, 9, 10.
10. Okay? You get 10 points in one ballot.
So 10 times 6, 2, 3.
Not 10. Well, that or times
11.
11.
121.
So each ballot is worth 10 points. 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. So if it's worth 10 points and I have 11 voters, that means my entire preference schedule is worth 110 points.
What? That's not 121? Oh, that's 11, 11.
Yeah, 11 times 11 is 121. Okay. Does that make sense? Figure out how many points a ballot's worth and then multiply it by how many total people you have. Guarantee you will see this on your quiz on Tuesday. Okay? So, If I have an election with 3 people in it, how many points in board account would be given for each place in a ballot? So, how many points do I get for last place?
1,
How many do I get for second to last?
2, 3, 4.
When do I stop?
At 3.
At 3. We can only give out 3 points because I only have 3 candidates. So, if I give out 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point, how many total points do I have on a single ballot then? 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3.
Or 10 minus 4.
Or 10 minus 4 because you got rid of that 4th place. If I have 20 voters, how many total points do I have then?
50? No, 53? No, wait, 63? I don't know.
Think about it.
Well, we just be added together.
Remember, how many points did we just say one person gives out? We just answered that in question 8. Each person gives out 8 points.
So 18.
Or I'm sorry, 6 points. Each person gives out 6 points. So if I have 20 people that are giving out 6 points, that's a total of
120? No.
120, yes. 6 points, and each person is giving out 6 points. That gives me 120 points. Does it make you feel smart? I like it because it's more practical math.
Yeah. Was that nonsense in math 3 or pre-calc?
Okay, so let's see what you do with this. We're still in an election with 3 candidates, and I have 100 people voting. What's the highest number of points that a candidate can receive?
3. Why not? 300.
300. Okay, remember, if you're in first place in an election of 3 candidates, you get 3 points per vote. And if I have 100 voters, that means I could come in first place each and every time, which gives me a total of 300 points. Okay. So if my max is 300, because I get 3 points for being in first place, what's the minimum amount I can have? 100. You only get 1 point for being in last place. And again, you still have 100 votes. So you can never receive any less than 100 points. You can never receive any more than 300 points. It's not possible. Otherwise, question. Almost finished, friends. Okay. And an election with 4 candidates now. We're adding 4 back in. How many points are given out by 1 ballot?
4.
1 ballot. The whole ballot. 10. Remember, you get 1 point for last place, then 2 points, 3 points, and 4 points. This final number should always match the amount of candidates you have. So you will always start at 1 and add up to the amount of candidates you have. So each ballot, each person's giving out 10 points. If I have 60 voters, how many total points do I have?
600.
600. I've got 10 points available per voter, 60 voters, that gives me 600 points. So then, if A has 110, B has 180, C has 90, how many points does D have?
60. 65.
How do I find it?
I don't know.
Remember, you just answered the
110
question.
divided by 4?
Remember, you just told me I have 600 total points to give out.
So add them all together and subtract them. 600.
Good. Add all these together and subtract them from 600. Or we can do 600 minus the points you have for A. Sorry, that was
It's
110.
220.
220. Minus the points we gave for B. Minus the points we gave for C. Gives me 220 points that D has. If you know the total and then they give you everybody else but one, you can still figure out that score. So if I asked you this question, who's my winner then? B. B has the most points. A only had 110, B had 180, C has 90. So that would have made D our winner in this election. Question? Okay. Last one. This time I've added in a 5th candidate. How many points is one ballot with 5 candidates?
16.
15. Again, we start at 1 and we add up to 5 because I've got 5 candidates. There are 15 points given out by one ballot. I have 90 votes. How many total points are available?
I don't know how to add two single. I don't know how to add. Multiply
1,000.
2. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know how to multiply like this?
Right. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
5 times 0,
0.
5 times 9.
45.
Skip a space. 1 times 0,
0.
1 times 9.
9.
Add these together. 0 and nothing is 0. 5 and 0 is 5. 4 and 9 is 13.
I always did lattice.
So now they tell you the scores of A, B, D, and E. So how many points does C have?
3%.
You said what?
3%.
I had 370. Okay. So C has 370 points. Who's my winner? C. C has the most points. If you're doing the board account method, there is an easy way to know that you made a mistake. Add up all of the totals of A, B, C, and D, and that should always add up to this amount every time. So if I would go back and I would add up A, B, D, E, and C, this total should equal 1350. So in words, that means add up the points for a single column times the total votes. And that should equal the sum of all candidates.
So you have A-Day, B-Day. A-Day's tomorrow's A-Day.
Yes.
So Monday will be B-Day.
Yes.
Oh, we don't have school Monday. So Tuesday's A-Day.
Tuesday, yeah. I
So
forgot Monday's Labor Day. Don't come, I won't be here.
So we go back to B-Day again. You just skip A-Day.
No. So this week we went A, B, A, B, A. We don't have school, we'll do B, A, B, A.
Okay.
Yeah. When we don't have school, there is no day. It'll just keep going. Any questions on board count?
No.
Okay, so your homework tonight is 19, just part A and B. 20, just part A and B. 23, 24, 25, and 26.